Microsoft certainly in the news a lot lately, both good and bad. That's pretty typical, pretty par for the course for Xbox in general, and it has been that way for quite a while now. Unfortunately, like if you're an Xbox fan, you're probably noticed that, it's like something good comes out, then something bad. They can't really go that long without sort of embarrassing themselves. But, again, it's not like it's all bad. They have some good points and some things that really kind of make sense and that you can be excited for. So I really kind of look at that and go, okay, well, that's good news for a change. And then there's certain points where you just kind of go, hey, that's crazy. But, this is one of the better ones, in my opinion, and we'll have to see how this kind of works out. But for me anyway, I like that this stuff is happening. Like at the very least, it shows that there's some good news in there for like the console fans and things like that, because I always hate to see the console fans get left behind. I hate to see that, to be honest with you, because I'm a console owner. I like to see consoles succeed. I want to see consoles continue to be a thing, and it really sucks when that's not the case. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. A simple like really helps the channel tremendous amount. If you guys didn't know that, it certainly does. And I do daily gaming content. I try to be informative yet fun. So if you guys are looking for that, hey, look no further, you found me. With that being said, let's get into this. So Xbox is adding some cool new stuff, which is really fascinating in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people might like it. They're adding new game save features, and it looks like there might even be more to come. We've been waiting a long time for Xbox to make improvements to game saves, and although the functionality seems to be staying mostly the same, they're adding new features to provide more clarity about how they actually work. As part of the new Xbox update, it's mentioned that when you switch between two devices, you'll now get more details about the state of your save game and how it's syncing with the cloud. There's a new progress bar, device names, timestamps, insights into the source of the game syncs and how it syncs itself, error messages with helpful tips, and more. All this will apparently be displayed across the console and Xbox Cloud Gaming as well. Quote, today we're adding new features on cloud and Xbox consoles to help players when game saves are left behind on a previous device in an offline state. A new progress bar, device names, timestamps, and additional details are now displayed when you have previous game saves on another device in an unsynced state, giving players the information they need. We also have added insights into the source of game syncs, their progress, and error messages with helpful tips if syncing gets stuck. Players are now better informed about when to wait or take action, reducing the risk of an accidental data loss during save delays and dialogues. So again, this was a bit of a problem for quite a few people, whatever the case may be. It just really felt like Microsoft was kind of suffering a bit there from the ability to have something that was going to be well used or whatever, for, in my opinion, or whatever the case may be. So I honestly hope that they continue to innovate on this and continue to do things that people actually want to see come to the platform, because like I said, I would love to see Microsoft be able to offer something that realistically changes the game and that makes everybody happy and at the same rate. So yeah, like I said, good on Microsoft. I like the fact that they continue to kind of innovate and try and do things that make the experience better, because let's just be real, like there's not always going to be a situation where everything is better, or where everything kind of comes out the same or whatever, where we're all going to be extremely happy or this or that or the other thing. So for me anyway, that's kind of how I look at it. I do hope that this is obviously something where everybody can kind of enjoy it and go, okay, because look, Microsoft is pushing this stuff, so why not have something that actually works and it is worthwhile? Like, I'll probably never use it. I had kind of hoped that maybe Microsoft would do an official Xbox situation, where they come out with an official handheld or whatever the case may be. But it doesn't look like that's ever going to be the case. They're just going to do like the PC handhelds or whatever, and that's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of works out. Like I said, anything can happen. In the future, Microsoft has an idea of what they want to do. Is that going to be the thing that's actually going to do anything for any of us as fans? I don't know. That's going to be the very interesting kind of question, to say the least, going forward. But hey, at least there's some of this stuff, some good news as well. Obviously, the goal with this is to reduce the risk of accidental data loss, which has happened before in other games. As mentioned at the bottom of this, it's specifically focused on Xbox's strategy going forward across multiple devices. If you're someone who plays across like 2 devices or more, these improvements could end up particularly important. So for me anyway, I would say that what I use is I use an Xbox Series X for most of my gaming, and I keep that in my room, and I have a small compact Xbox Series S for the living room, and sometimes I'll play in there a little bit. It depends on what's going on. And it is kind of cool to be able to switch, go from one to the other, and the cloud save is there or whatever. But I can understand the thought process behind that, being in the future as well, where maybe somebody wants to use, a PC or in the cloud or whatever. I personally will never game in the cloud. I think that's a terrible way to game, and I would never be into that. But it is nice to see that they're actually doing this kind of stuff, trying to make sure that gamers are kind of taken care of or whatever. So I think that's the most important thing there, and kind of the most important thing to have going forward, and just in my opinion anyway. So nice to see that kind of happen. And again, not everything Microsoft does is perfect, but some stuff like that, they're clearly trying to move into a certain direction. At least they're keeping some kind of idea behind this working right anyway. So we're hopeful it might prevent some of the console only data loss situations we've seen before as well, although admittedly it doesn't seem to be the focus of the messaging here. For those that don't remember, games like Baldur's Gate 3, Football Managers, and others have suffered with issues in the past where same games had disappeared. Looking ahead, the big request that Xbox fans have is a manual sync button, and some have also requested the ability to stop an auto sync in order to avoid overwriting a save file by mistake, which seems to be what's happening with the Baldur's Gate 3 issue. So here's hoping they'll continue to make improvements in the coming months that specifically target data loss on consoles. But for now, it's just nice to see that this is added or whatever. Again, this is probably one of those understated features that should have been a thing a long time ago. Microsoft has been touting Play Anywhere since 2016, and we're in 2025. The fact that the UI is still kind of trashy, that they're still working on stuff like this, really just goes to show that they kind of are all over the place. Personally, as an Xbox fan, I would have much rather Microsoft done a situation where they mastered something, 1 or 2 things, instead of kind of being mediocre at 1 or 2 things and then trying to move on and do all these other things. It doesn't really help out, in my opinion. It doesn't change things. It doesn't make things any better or easier for like the average gamer or whatever the case may be. So again, that's something that I think all of us are going to have to deal with at some particular point. But right now, it's just like, what Microsoft is doing is kind of crazy to me. But, it is nice to see some general updates that are improving what they're trying to do. And, I just think hopefully they can continue to maybe listen to the feedback and stuff like that. I would love to see that. And, I would love to see Microsoft, take this stuff seriously for a change, because it does seem like they're not really doing that right now. And again, let's hope that they can make something that all of us can agree is worthwhile, because so often they'll do something, right, and it'll be something that you just kind of question, who is it for, really? They have a real habit of doing that. So hopefully they can get out of that. But like I said, I feel like this is something that is actually good. Again, when you look at the PlayStation, they don't even do cloud saves unless you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. You don't have to subscribe to anything to get cloud saves and syncs or whatever with Xbox, which I do think is a big bonus. as an Xbox owner. We'll see how that kind of works out. But let me know what you guys think. I will, of course, link this in the description. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. I appreciate it. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. I'll catch you guys next time. Crap Gamer out.